Well, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG. Today we're going to be talking about Project Booster Fun. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to all the patrons who support the channel. Thank you to all of you who support Game Grove, whether you come in and play in our awesome play space or if you shop online at gamegrove.gg. All right, Project Booster Fun. This has been a point of contention. Rudy from Alpha Investments is hammering in every single video. He is clamoring about Project Booster Fun. So I thought it would be interesting to go out and exfoliate a little bit about it, give you my perspective as an LGS owner, somebody who does things more locally but also online, and kind of look at this from a reasonable perspective. Project Booster Fun, I think, is, in my opinion, personally, the absolute worst part of Magic the Gathering, modern Magic the Gathering. I know, listen, leave your comments in the comment section, agree, disagree with me about whatever, but Project Booster Fun, I feel, has actually removed the fun from opening booster packs because it makes everything special. But let's start here. Let's talk about what the front-facing goal of Project Booster Fun was. The front-facing goal was, simply put, to make it more fun and enjoyable to open up Magic the Gathering packs. So they did the variants. This started back in Throne of Eldraine, right? They did all these variants. They put these special cards and card frames and showcase foils and whatever. They made it more fun by adding these different, components. And now it has evolved, right? Now you have the showcase, the story showcase slot, right? Where it's supposed to help tell the story of what is happening in the set. Even though on the back of the box, they've removed the story from the box just to say more shiny cards, whatever, right? They put the story spotlight in and they put more rares and that kind of thing. And then now they have the set boxes that have the art cards, which are all part of Project Booster Fun. That's the front-facing goal, is to make box opening more enjoyable. But the reality and the real goal, I believe that Wizards of the Coast has, is to increase their money. And I'm going to first off and start this by saying I have no problem with Wizards of the Coast making money. And I particularly want them to make money. Wizards of the Coast, Magic the Gathering is a massive part of my business, of every LGS's business, frankly, of Rudy's business. It's a massive part of our businesses. So we need a strong company that is making money in order to know that we are going to be sustainable and long-term. Like, that's a win. So Magic doing things to make more money is a win in the long run. And we'll get to that a little bit later in the video too. But their goal is to make money. And I think collector boxes execute this perfectly. It is cheaper probably to produce. I don't know the exact cost, but you're producing less cards. I know they're all foil, but in volume, I would guess it's probably cheaper to produce. It's certainly cheaper, incrementally cheaper to store. I know this from my perspective. To store collector boxes is far cheaper than to store draft and set boxes. They're just smaller. They take up less space. It's easier. And it's cheaper for them to ship. So you also have your production costs, which, let's say it's the same. It's way cheaper for them to ship and move and transport. Think about it, they're transporting all these boxes to all these different, distribution hubs. It's cheaper for them to move them and do all that stuff. And they sell them for more money. So from a perspective of Wizards of the Coast, the collector box has been a massive success on their bottom line and for their finances. And I know the front-facing goal is to make it more fun, but we can't forget the back-facing goal, which is like Wizards is here to make money. And that's a really important distinction to understand. The problem, in my opinion, is that it's not accomplishing the front-facing goal in the way that they want it to. If you look at Pokemon, there is, frankly, in my opinion, again, I'm curious on your opinions, but looking at the TCG ecosystem and the environment, there is no more fun that is had by opening packs than by the Pokemon community. I have people come into the store with their kids. This week I had someone come in the store, the kids, and they were set collecting, and they're opening packs for the set, and then looking through our bulk bin for bulk commons and uncommons of Obsidian Flames to fill out a collection, not just for themselves, but also for their 10-year-old son together. They have fun building this stuff, building these collections by opening packs. They don't play the game, they don't do whatever. They have fun doing that. And it made me kind of think through this process of what is actually fun about opening a booster pack. And in my opinion, again, I'd love to hear your thoughts. My opinion is that what is fun is the chase. It's the chase of completing something, or the chase of, for Magic, maybe it's getting that card for your deck, or specializing in that, particular foil that you wanted. And in my opinion, Magic went way too heavy with the flash, way too heavy with the variants, way too heavy with the pull rates of things, that when you open a collector box, you're almost expecting to get something amazing. And because when you spend the $225 or whatever it is, and you have that expectation, it is usually on the back end of it kind of a little bit of a letdown, because the other stuff you pulled is not, you don't care about it because nobody set collects. And this is my biggest gripe with Project Booster Fun, is that nobody set collects anymore. And I don't remember, Return to Ravnica, that kind of, I remember set collecting and caring about that. And that kind of weaned off quite a bit in this new modern age of Magic, because there's just so many different cards. The sets are massive. You have Commander Masters with 950 or 1,000 or something like that different cards because of all the different variants. Nobody puts a binder together to just collect the cards. And when you look at Pokemon, you look at a lot of the new indie games, that is something that people still love to do and they still love to enjoy. Now, I want to hammer in on something here that I think is often lost in the conversation, and that's this, the gameplay section. Magic, in my opinion right now, has probably more players than ever. Commander has absolutely, in my opinion, and it's really hard to put a number to all this because they don't share that, and it's hard to share how many people play Commander. But we have people playing Commander all the time. They're always interested in playing Commander. I think when you look at the set collecting versus Commander play thing, I do think that there's a difference here from these, a lot of the other games, because the goal of Magic in a lot of ways is to get the cards for your Commander deck and the flashy cards. And we're going to come back to that. So set collecting is dead. You have too many variants. And here's the caveat that I think it's really hard, because whenever you're talking about Magic, there's so much that's different now than 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Not only do you have increased variance, but you also now have Secret Lair, which increases the variance again, and also puts a kind of factor of fear, a fear factor, in that when you get that card, are they going to make a better version of that card that you want in a Secret Lair that, devalues the one that you have? And it's just this constant wave and cycle of too much, and then they add too much more on top of it. And then the last factor of this whole thing in the last 5 years is the lack of MSRP and the direct sales on Amazon. So you have these three things that kind of factor in, to my opinion, reducing the amount of fun that you have from opening packs. When you open those packs, you know that what you're getting isn't that special, because A, you might be able to get it in 3 weeks on an Amazon dump for a lot cheaper, and B, you might be able to get a specific variant that you want that's some really cool artwork. Secret Lair has some of the coolest artwork direct on Secret Lair. So it reduces the fun because the excitement of opening is marred by these other things that they have going on in their ecosystem. So that's my spiel of what is happening. Now I want to talk about, how do you fix that, right? How does Magic come back from that? And this is where things get, in my opinion, really ugly. Look, Magic, from a business perspective for Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro, Magic is doing better than ever. They are selling, they're producing way too many boxes from our perspective, but from their perspective, their number, they hit the $1 million, $1 billion, or whatever it is. They have been rolling, and it is working really, really, really well from their bottom line. Remember, we talked about this at the beginning of the video, where like the bottom line of these collector boxes is insane for them. I mean, from the perspective of them, it just makes so much sense. You add secret layer there, and they're making more money off of it. And what I think is that if you get rid of what they are doing, Wizards is going to struggle to when you grow as a business and you start employing these different things and having these different, projects, Project Booster Fund, Project Secret Layer, you add, you're adding revenue, you're adding employees, you're adding, factors of that kind of thing. You can't just pivot and remove it. If you pivot and remove it, the capital goes down, and you don't want to go down as a business. So I just don't see them moving away from this. I think in order for Magic to get out of the flashy era, we are going to have to see a dark ages of Magic the Gathering, if you will, where the game really, really struggles. The damage is done. Like, this is it now. This is what Magic the Gathering is. And in order to get out of that, of what Magic is, I think Magic needs to struggle from their perspective. And frankly, that's not going to happen. It's just not, you're not going to see them make that decision, because from their perspective, it's a bad business decision. So, you think the market's bad now, you think that owning a store is hard now, just wait until, they can't make money as a business, and then they increase prices even more, and then they do more of the direct-to-consumer thing, and I just don't see that working. So I think as a perspective from a store, you just have to be creative. As a perspective from a collector or as a perspective of a player, you just have to be creative in the way that you interact with the product. You have to reduce, from a store perspective, you have to reduce the buys, right? You have to be creative and buy more singles. Like, that's what I am doing. I'm focusing heavier on buying singles and buying out things from other stores below kind of the market value that's already been accepted. Look at Dominaria United collector boxes right now. Like, distro cost on that was like in the 170s, and market cost is 120 or something like that. So like, if you can pick up product that has already failed from the secondary market at cheaper rates and in volume, there's opportunity to be made. You just have to change your business model. I've been talking to you as a non-store owner. I think this is the prime opportunity for non-store owners to get involved in this ecosystem, because there's no real advantage of having distribution right now. I mean, there's an advantage in one degree of like getting product early and that kind of thing, but in the long run, if anybody's investing long-term in Magic the Gathering sealed product, there's no advantage in having distribution access as a store right now. It is strictly a place to bring in singles and bring in cards, because that is what Project Booster Fund has done. It has reduced, it's amazing, it's absolutely amazing. It has reduced the amount of product that will sell at what used to be around the MSRP cost. But it has increased Wizards' bottom line. So it's just frankly, it's a catch-22. It's a non-winnable solution for anybody that's not Wizards. So I think you got to change your perspective in where you are looking for the opportunities if you care about the business side of Magic. Now, if you like flashy variants and cards being cheap, I mean, like, this is perfect for a lot of people. I understand from a consumer perspective, I totally understand where people would be enjoying this and be saying, like, listen, I'm able to get... March of the Machine's a great example. All those Multiverse Legends cards that have completely tanked, Project Booster Fund did that. And it made it cheaper to play. The problem is that it's going to start affecting... Like, it's already affected game stores and that kind of dichotomy of the game. But if they don't change it slowly and over time, it's going to have long-term impacts on game stores and the way that they want to engage with Magic the Gathering and the product. So anyway, those are my thoughts. A little bit rambly. Sorry about that. I would love to know your perspective on Project Booster Fund. What do you enjoy opening? We didn't even talk about the price increase. Like, yeah, it's more fun to open. You get more rares and mythics, but you're also spending twice as much as you were, 5 years ago for a booster box. I don't know. Like, I think that they have really tricked the consumer into this stuff, in my opinion. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Have yourselves a great day. Be kind to the people around you, and we'll see you again next video.